Yes, peace and blessings, well, family. Well, I was watching a video on I guess it was Astral Projection, and I see really nobody could pinpoint anything. Everybody's just taking it and go to sleep and dream. It's a dream. Well, that's really a difference between astral projection and what we call remote viewing. So what we consider remote viewing is when you go to sleep. That is remote viewing. And it's not actual. It depends on your intentions. It's all premeditated before you go and start it. And that's the importance now to learn the difference between remote viewing and astral projection. Well, if you go back and do the history on it, we have to go back to the ancient fathers, and the Egyptians. Really, that's our reference point, because it's like you got to have something to guide you. It's not you could get lost like in space and not going in any direction. There is no up, down, right, left. So what's going to guide you? Well, we're going to use the ancestors' knowledge and the forefathers of antiquities that was onto the alchemy and was really fans of the Egyptians, which would be your Greeks and also your philosophers from Rome, all those people. So when you look back into it now, they know us as having several bodies. We're not just one person. We are one person with several bodies, and those bodies, a lot of people, equate it to a subtle energy body, like an aura body, with the theory that you was first light and then you emanated into a physical form. And once you started breathing and breath came into you, you started defining and definition and shape. So with this now, and you've been actual soul, let's go to the soul real quick. A soul now is the second body in you, but it's not active. This is you learn from actually the Egyptians. The Egyptians, they have three bodies pointing up to the sun with the sun rays coming down with the hands. Your forefathers, the alchemists, you got Paracelsus, you got the Rosicrucians, all of those mystery orders. They all saying the same thing, which is a pathway to obtaining your soul, and they called it the initiation. Well, it's that initiation didn't just come from them. It's actually African term. Everybody at age 12, 14, it depends what tribe you was, they had to go into manhood. Going into manhood was a psychological thing. You left the toys and playing in the mud and things you used to do alone to seek out more realistic things like, a life for yourself, kids, a wife. You start feeling sexually active. So those type of things was like the first forms of what people wanted to do. So those practices, those was like called initiation. Everybody had a ritual into manhood, and it required you to go away from the community and the family and spend some time either in the wilderness or amongst the fellas that go hunting and teach you man things. But with it, you have to do something very traumatic to yourself, which most of it in the back in the days rituals was simple: to kill an animal or something to make you see what it's like to take a life and to see how important life is, so you will cherish life because you seen what it was to die. A lot of us don't know that, so we run around buying guns and carrying it wherever we go. We're quick to pull it out for somebody saying you're a bitch, this and this, and don't know what the actual consequences and what it feels like to actually take a life. So everybody's quick to say it, but when it comes time to do it, it's like not the same feeling. And to be honest, the value of a human being is really nothing if they're going to take a life over some words, when you could either take it to the hands or actually sticks and stones don't break bones. But they say words could build and words could also destroy. So, you don't have to actually physically put your hands or actually harm anybody, but that's just how society is right there. So, the initiation of the soul teaches you all those things so you be a responsible adult and seek out higher things instead of little what Joey is doing and talking about the neighbors and trying to see who got it and be like them. Everybody left that demographic when you become an adult and seek out, try how to improve things in life, improve yourself and your family, taking it into higher levels of morality, which leads to spirituality and your own true religion, you know. So our ancestors knew that you had a body and a soul, and there's a process you had to go through to acquire your soul. Now, I notice everybody who's teaching astral projection and all this out-of-body experience and remote viewing, they just tell you to go lay down and lay on the bed, you fall into a lucid sleep and shake yourself and you shake out your body. Come on. So everything else I just said about the ancestors and what our ancient teachers is, everybody don't know nothing about that. So it's just, you just freelancing in space and don't know what's going on. You go in your soul and what's called your astral body. Your astral body is what happens when you stay still, period. You have a soul, it's not active, but you can't activate it by actually not moving, taking less breath. By changing your breathing pattern, you actually unite yourself with the higher forces, a different frequency from the one you're on. And so by you doing that, you're able now to go into what's called a double, your body double, and you go into your astral body. A lot of people can't take that shit. It's like staring at the tip of your nose or double visioning. It'll give you a headache and make you dizzy because you never did it before. But people who meditate slowly go through dizziness and headaches and pains in their heads to acquire the gift that it don't do that no more. And now they actually double vision and go into their astral body. That's what meditation is, when you go into that body. When you go in there, that body is actually real, and it's in science and medicine, but it's under occult. Most people don't actually want y'all to know about it because it's responsible for a lot of things that we do. For instance, when you go to sleep, you know, that movement, when I said you move, you don't move and your soul moves, that's what happens. You still go to sleep, the body don't move, and the astral body come up now. So a lot of people go into their astral body and they take control by becoming conscious in their astral body. Your astral body already has something to do, and it does it every day. Before you knew about remote viewing, before you knew about astral projection, that should have been mastering. Before you was in this life, it was doing it already. And so when you get to witness it, you're just going to learn from it. It's like you're conscious of your astral in this journey. You really can't control it. When you do, it's like you took a monkey wrench and dropped it into a bunch of gears in a car going 1,000 miles per hour. It's just going to freeze and slam and flip over. Because the astral body got its own mission already. And say you be like, well, I'm going to go see my mother, I'm going to go see my aunt. You take it away from that. It already was planning, if you ever became conscious, what it was going to do to awaken you. If you got your own plans on what you're going to do in there, you're going to fuck all that up. You're going to be what's called a wanderer. You're just wandering around in deep space. A victim, a bait for the entities and spirits that's there, and dark shadow beings and Anunnakis and all types of other crazy shit that you catch and contract that you don't know you have until you die. But when you do it correct, you're being initiated to go meet your soul. And so you're soul traveling. They say the astral world is the foundation of this world. In a sense it is, but no. The astral world is a being. You're in a being, a soul. And that soul is a part of a whole bunch of quasi-soul that makes everything have a soul. The earth has its own soul. Every rock has its own soul. Every tree has its own soul. So you got to realize how everything works. So now you have different levels to yourself. That's just now the astral that goes to meet what's the higher one, the soul. Well, you also have your intellect, your head, your brain, your mind. That's part of the ethereal world. We call it in this world your subconscious mind. So with your subconscious mind now, you got to understand it's a different you. It's two you now. Look at the two yous as you have your right brain and your left brain. It's one brain, but it's two sides to it. You understand, masculine and feminine, positive and negative. And so that's how everything works when it comes to your body and its different parts. So now with you having the ethereal body and all of them working together, they have to actually, hold on.